That's the camera we're using right now, actually. It's the Panasonic GH5 Lumix. It's badass.
And that is kind of like the YouTube camera now.
Kind of seems like it. If you're not using like a Sony, it seems like it's the GH5, the Sony A7 II or 3, AJ.
Yeah, it's the A7 III.
That's the new good one.
And then nowadays it's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K.
Not really for YouTubers though. If you're filming yourself, I wouldn't say so. I'd say
I've seen it around the block for YouTube.
I've seen it around the block if you have a shooter. I think if you're vlogging, it's not practical.
I mean, that camera was actually meant for vlogging, but it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
because there's actually a button on the front end where you're supposed to press it, but it's like, hey, the screen doesn't flip out.
Yeah, I can't see myself. What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah, there's this giant screen, but it doesn't flip unless you get that. They have an adapter that basically you can attach like a little flip up. It's pretty sick. But anyways, a lot of YouTubers are actually using the Canon EOS R though. Like it's not like on paper. It's kind of like why, but Canon's cameras are just like people are just really reliable with Canon, and Canon's glass is so good.
Is Nikon like gone now? Does no one use Nikon
for photography?
Nikon's for photography.
Because it's got good color, right?
Yeah, it's got good color science, and people have probably just been using them for years and stuff. But they've never really excelled in the video side. Also, Fujifilm makes like some pretty solid video cameras, but like they've just never really seemed to catch on with like this new like younger YouTube crowd.
Well, the Fujifilm brand is kind of like
old.
Okay.
Yeah, but my friend Alex has one and it's really good. Like it shoots really nice, like epic slow-mo. Like it's sick.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Fujifilm is the Instax Mini, which is basically...
Do they make that camera?
Polaroid. Yeah, Fujifilm Instax Mini, which is basically... It's an instant camera that you can carry around with you. I used to use it to be able to start conversations with girls. or like groups of people. Yeah. I would always like go out, and whenever, again, back to like that whole conversation of dating myself, I would find myself just walking up to a group and be like, hey, you guys friends? And they'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, you want a picture? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And I'd take a picture and just hand it to them. And people are stoked because normally pictures are on phones and you don't get to see them immediately. So they would grab it.
Well, you get to see them immediately, but you don't get to
touch it, hold it. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is amazing. And then we just start a conversation, and so for the price of like a little quick, you could have you're in. It was like the quickest way to like get into a conversation.
Pro tip.
Yeah. The thing with film, in my opinion, is that it has that since it's so like natural and just raw, it gives you that like when I shoot on film on like my photography camera, and you go and get it developed, and then you get it back. You like feel the emotion of like, oh my God, I remember that moment.
And then isn't it like the grittiness, like the grainy?
You can see the grain and just like it just feels that's how I see it.
It's
very
kind of like
emotional.
nostalgic too, because it's like an old art form almost. So you like,
it's technically a fine art. Photography is a fine art, especially if you develop in a red room by yourself. Like if you personally develop the photo, that photo that's out there.
A red room? Dark room?
Dark room, excuse me.
Yeah, dark room.
Dark room, yeah.
This is a room that's red.
Yeah, I'm not a photographer. Sorry, everyone who is a photographer. That picture out there of me doing the 9/11 memorial, my friend Emily took on one of the ones you got to put a hood over yourself, and
no way,
and the big flash bulb, and it prints it out on this like 6x8 cartridge, and she's like it was clunky as fuck.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
This has become a very tech heavy.
Yeah,
episode.
But we're YouTubers, so
it makes sense. No, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, but anyways,
some industry talk for sure.
I really just to continue on the camera talk for a second. The GH5, because I'm sure a lot of people are curious about what equipment we use and stuff. People ask you a lot, and you're always just like, ask Andrew.
Honestly, we can affiliate link everything we use. I mean, even this stuff. We can affiliate like
everything. We'll talk about our setup and stuff at some point. We'll maybe make like a studio tour kind of video, but. The GH5 is just an awesome camera in my opinion because everything that comes out of it like just looks like really cinematic. The color is like kind of like a little bit flatter of a profile, so you got to do a little bit of grading. Like it's not like as natural as like Canon's color science. Like Canon's color science is really beautiful. The skin tones are amazing. Like I think sometimes the skin tones from the GH5 look a little bit grayer or almost a little bit greener. Like they don't look as like when you see them, you're kind of like, it's a little bit unnatural. But with some color grading, you can fix that. But again, it's kind of like if you want a camera that's just gonna like produce like really accurate stuff right off the bat, maybe the GH5 isn't, and you don't want to do any post-production, maybe the GH5 isn't for you. But like if you're a nerd and you want to edit stuff and you like really dig that kind of like cinematic look, you can shoot in slow-mo. It has dual stabilization. Like you can get lenses that are stabilized and the body is also stabilized, so the sensor and the lens work in tandem to stabilize your image. So a lot of times I never use a gimbal. If I need
some smooth B-roll though,
we can get some smooth B-roll, especially with the combination of slow-mo, which just slows all of your movements down to make them smoother, and then the fact that it's using that double IBIS, like it's pretty amazing what you can achieve with even hand holding the camera. It's pretty nuts.
And even like the wheelchair is a very interesting slow-mo like subject, so
you
could definitely capture a lot of interesting stuff with slow-mo.
Yeah, the gripes I have with the GH5 is the autofocus isn't the best.
It kind of sucks sometimes,
and the low light isn't the best. But with some screwing around, as long as it's it's just like anything, it's like a Ferrari. It's great at certain things, it's terrible at others. You just got to pick what you want it for and why you need it.
Any level of technology like that, it gets better and better and better and better and better. It can only get better at certain things. It can't like in total get better. Like,
I will say though, I think the Lumix S1H that just came out might be my ideal perfect camera that I would ever want,
because they fixed all the little bugs that this one has, right?
Yeah, they kept all the awesome stuff and they fixed all the little annoyances, and it's
full frame.
Exactly. And it's full frame. It's still stabilized. It has great low light. Apparently the autofocus is fixed. It can even shoot in 6K. Like, it's just nuts. Like, it's stupid. And the lineup of lenses is nuts. Like, it's expensive as shit. Like, you're going to spend like 10 grand on like a decent setup with it. But like, it's epic.
If you got 10 grand and you need it.
Yeah. Or if you're a filmmaker and you want to rent it for a shoot, like, screw it. But I think that would be in the future down the road, that would be my like, I think that's really my dream cam. Because I really like, personally, people would be like, oh, don't you want like a Red or something like that? But like, that would be cool. But for the purposes of like run and gun, like a lot of our shooting is, like, I just don't think that would be the most ideal for me. I think the S1H would be ideal for me because it's still,
you talk about cameras the same way I talk about wheelchairs.
Totally. It's very true. It's accurate because it's, if I was shooting, films and I had someone who could like pull focus for me and all that kind of stuff, like I think like a Blackmagic camera would be sick. Like AJ has one of those, or a Red camera or something where, if we had like a bigger team, maybe in the future, who knows?
Like a full crew.
Yeah. But I think for like now with a one man kind of setup, like the S1H is just badass and you can modify like crazy. Anyways. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode that clip was from, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right here.